Good evening, guys. Welcome back to A Dose of the Doonesses. We have been gone for a minute. We are here with an update and to close out 2022.
You jumped to the new year already.
With a brief video just detailing what to expect in 2023, our intentions for 2023 with our channel, and just to give you a little bit brief update on what we've been doing this year since we have been literally absent the whole year. So we started our channel back in 2021 and we posted a few videos and never really fully got our channel off the ground like we wanted to. I've learned in watching YouTube, because I literally watch YouTube every day. I've learned that you have to be consistent in order to grow your channel. If it's something you want to do long term and eventually become monetized and make a career, which is our ultimate goal. More importantly for me, I know it's part of like my purpose and me reaching people when it comes to relationships, marriage, and now therapy. I advocate for marriage, I advocate for healthy relationships, and I advocate for therapy now. So I feel like YouTube will be a platform where I can walk in my purpose, where I can reach people, and just give my journey on how it's been for me these last 12 years of being married, and how my therapy journey why it started and how it's been going. So today we're just going to briefly talk about what 2022 has been like for me, for both of us, and my journey of starting therapy full time. So I'll go first. Well, before I do that, to reintroduce ourselves, because we've been gone for so long, and most of our followers currently are family and friends anyway, but when the new followers come along, y'all will know who we are. I am Jay. This is my husband. And we are Dose of the Doonesses. Again, our channel will consist of relationship content, marriage content, and advocating for therapy. So, 2021, at the end of 2021 in December, this time last year, we contracted COVID. Our whole family. We have two boys. It started with our youngest son. He came home sick from school. He was literally sick 24 hours.
I don't even know.
And it didn't even seem like COVID. His symptoms weren't even COVID symptoms. It was like more of a stomach virus, like, because he had TMI, but he had diarrhea and he was nauseous. I think he vomited, maybe. No fever, no cough, no chills, no sneezing, none of that. And then the next day he was fine. Then
that was on a Sunday.
That was on a Sunday, and then it trickled down to my husband.
Yeah, Monday night.
Right, he started having symptoms, and then like 2 days later on a Wednesday, because we were scheduled to go to Charlotte, because we go to Charlotte every year for Christmas to visit our my husband's godmom and family, and we were scheduled to leave that Wednesday, and I started getting chilled. No, that Thursday. I think it was that Thursday. No, Christmas Eve was.
We was leaving Wednesday.
Okay.
Because you went to got the test results Wednesday.
Okay, so I started feeling chills on Tuesday night. Like I said, my husband came home on Monday evening. He was starting to feel funny, and he was still working. So when he started feeling funny, we just thought it was, oh shoot, maybe somebody at work had got him sick. Because again, our youngest son, he was only sick for 24 hours, so we just thought it was like a little bug. And so we didn't think nothing of it. So on Tuesday night, I started getting chills, and I was like, yeah, we probably should go to urgent care to get checked out, because, yeah, we don't want to go to Charlotte getting other people sick. So, yeah, we went to urgent care, and the lady came back and read the results, like, all three of y'all. Our oldest son, mind you, he didn't go because he wasn't having symptoms. So he was just staying in his room away from us, but he didn't go to urgent care, so he was just like, I'm fine. So we, us three, me, my husband, and the youngest son, we all went. And when the lady came back in the office, she was like, if I be gone more than 10 minutes, I think she said, then y'all know y'all probably positive. Or negative, I think. It was one or the other. She said the results come back fast.
If they come back fast, if they come back within 10 minutes, if she come back within 10 minutes,
that means
we got it.
Right. So she was gone for more than 10 minutes. So we just like, okay, we must don't have COVID. That lady came back in the office. She said, yeah, all 3 y'all positive. I was like, what? Because mind you, I still didn't have full symptoms either. Like I just had that little phase of, the chills that Tuesday night. Because my body literally fights off. I rarely ever get sick. My body literally goes into fight mode when my body starts to try to shut down. And my body somehow fights off colds or whatever. So I really didn't think none of it. I was like, okay, maybe it was just like, a little something. But it went away. And yeah, so she came and told us we had COVID. So I said all that to say that COVID put us in like a really tough spot.
Dark space.
It put us in a dark space. Our marriage was starting to. I wouldn't say that our marriage was starting to go downward, because if anybody knows us, if nobody else, our family and friends know, we have a pretty healthy marriage. Of course, everybody have their ups and downs, highs and lows. Nobody has a perfect relationship, but for the most part, we have a healthy dynamic. And we literally been together. We've been together 20 years. We've been married 12. So it's like, whatever that come up against us, we get through it. We fight through it. We work through it, and we overcome it. And so with COVID,
uncharted territories.
Man, listen, literally, and I kept hearing that voice in 2020, like the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021. I kept hearing like God say, you're entering into uncharted territories. And I didn't know what that meant. But yeah, that means that we were going to be tested, and our marriage was tested. And so my husband, he gets sick. When he gets sick, his symptoms are more severe than anybody else's. His immune system is weaker than ours. And so he got COVID a little worse than us. And so with women, we put on our capes, somehow we pushed through. And yes, I was sick. I was, eventually the symptoms, we started experiencing all the symptoms, fever, chills, loss of taste. And so for like a week and a half, we were just stuck in the house.
I was throwing up every...
He was throwing up. And, we were just stuck in the house binge watching Insecure, I think, because I had never watched it. So it was the last season of Insecure, so I stayed in the house binge watching. So we was just, it was a time where we could really spend with each other and reconnect. And, we would have thought it would have been a time where our marriage would really be in full bloom, because my husband is an essential worker. So he didn't get the blessing of being home during COVID when it first hit in 2020. So he was still out in the field going to work every day. So I'm like, we stuck in the house together. This is the perfect time for us to, spend time together, reconnect. But I didn't know that COVID was going to have us to the point where we couldn't communicate with each other. He was like really severely sick. So he was at a point like he wanted to go to the emergency room, and he kept telling me like, let's just take him to the emergency room. And I'm like, you sure? Because when COVID hit, they wouldn't let anybody in the hospital unless you were being seen. And so I'm like, I can't go. Like, I'm feeling better than him. I went to the point where I felt like I needed medical care versus him. I'm like, so you're going to be by yourself. So I'm trying to make sense of things to him. Like, you're going to be by yourself. If you go, they admit you. They, for the most part, they have been putting people on the ventilator. And he was saying that he couldn't breathe because he's asthmatic as well. So when he gets sick, his asthma starts to act up. And so he got to the point where he was just like, he was scared. And he didn't know how to communicate that with me. So instead of him, he thought he was going to expire. What you say on YouTube. Instead of him communicating that with me, like, I'm afraid, I don't know what's going to happen, because of course our black men aren't taught how to express themselves. Or they taught that they got to be the man of the house. They're taught to be strong. They can't have moments of where they need to depend on other people. And so he just didn't fully know how to express that to me. And so he shut down. And then I'm like, I can't help you if you don't communicate with me. How am I supposed to know what you need if you don't tell me what it is you're going through or what's going on? And so they kind of like pushed us up against each other. He shut down, I shut down. Automatically, you give me silent treatment, I'm gonna give you silent treatment. But not knowing that, now I know that giving people the silent treatment is a manipulation tactic. Like, it's like you have the upper hand. If I don't say nothing to him, he ain't gonna say nothing to me. So when I'm ready to talk to him, then I'll talk to him and I got the upper hand. So that's like, it's not healthy.
I wasn't giving her the silent treatment. I honestly wasn't myself. I wasn't really good. I felt like I was going to expire.
But that's what I'm saying. He didn't know how to communicate that he really was afraid that he was not going to make it. And so I guess I don't know. Did you think that if you told me that I was going to be scared? He just didn't know how to come. I guess he just didn't know how to come up and say it. And so I'm just like, well, how can I help you if you don't express yourself? So then I knew at that point when he was like, well, I want to go to the hospital. I'm like, okay, it must be really serious. But then, like I say, I kind of, talk to him so he can get level headed, because I'm like, they're not gonna let me in for when I can't stay. If they admit you're gonna be in there overnight by yourself, and it's a chance they put you on the ventilator because you're saying you can't breathe.
But I was telling her she got COVID too, so we can get checked out.
But I wasn't
together.
Experiencing the same symptoms though. Like, we still can't help each other. What if they put him in another room and I'm in another room? We're no good for each other. So it's like, yeah. So anyway, I said all that to say that because of COVID, it was a blessing in disguise. Even though in that moment we just felt like, damn, this is something we never dealt with. Of course, he's had the flu, we've been sick or whatever. But I think with COVID, because you're secluded in the house, we couldn't, like, usually if you got the flu or you got a little cold, you can still go out. But because COVID was like a big deal at the time, they was like, don't go out. You don't want to come in contact with people. You don't want to get people sick. So you want to be conscious. So I'm used to going outside to go to the grocery store or just go to Starbucks or whatever to get some time away from the house. But we were stuck in the house, secluded, again, not knowing how to communicate with each other. He's sick, and then I'm feeling the weight of things because I'm just like, I don't know how I can help him. And so anyway, COVID led me to therapy. I told my husband, because I had went to therapy in 2019, but I was going through my husband's EAP program, and it was only like they give you 5 sessions a year. And so I wasn't in full-time therapy. I had just went those 5 sessions. I think I did it 3 times from 2019 to 2020, but it wasn't consistent. So I knew what therapy was like. I knew what it was, and I had started unpacking some things. And I was like, okay, in order for us to get over this hump in our marriage, I want to start back therapy. We need to have some sessions so we can learn how to communicate with each other. And I'm like, all I remember saying in 2020, the day on December 31st, 2021, I remember saying, because I don't set New Year's resolutions no more. I stopped doing that years ago. But I'm like, this is one thing that I want to do for myself in 2022. And I just heard, I'm guessing I just heard God's voice saying, show up for yourself. And so that was my intention that I set. And I remember January 1st, after I had this cup, bringing in the new year, and on there, it was a space for you to write your resolution. And on there, I wrote, show up for yourself. And I remember
fast forwarded. What happened before that? Because we ended up having a conversation.
Yeah, but I was just saying, ultimately, what I was telling them about COVID, which is what led me to therapy. And I was just, giving them an update on what it's been like for me this year with therapy, because that's pretty much been my focus all year. But we did get to the point where we had a conversation. At some point while we were sick with COVID, I just remember my husband saying, we can't do this anymore. Like, we're not about to walk around here not talking to each other. Because I was upstairs, he was downstairs. One day, I was upstairs for like 4 or 5 hours. Just in the bed, like on my phone. He was down here. I don't know if he was watching TV or what. And so we just took some time apart that day. And